Well, let's talk now to Dr. Marcus Papadopoulos, the historian, analyst and author specialising in Russia. Dr. Papadopoulos, we've heard the picture from Germany. Just, if you would, put this into context for us. What is the wider European significance of these gas pipeline leaks for EU gas supply?
Well, it is patently obvious that the Nord Stream gas pipelines were subjected to an act of sabotage. And I sincerely hope that the United Nations Security Council will convene to discuss the matter, and that a UN investigative team will be deployed to the area to ascertain what happened. And should either America, Britain or France, or all three of them, attempt to scupper a meeting of the Security Council or attempt to scupper the deployment of a UN investigative team to the area, then that would be highly suspicious. Now, turning to the implications of the explosions, Germany now more or less is dependent on America for its gas, specifically American liquefied natural gas, something that the Americans have sought for a considerable amount of time now. When you take that into consideration and combine it with how at the beginning of the year, President Biden said or warned that should the Russian army enter Ukraine, then the Nord Stream gas pipelines would be neutralized, I would submit to you that that presents quite a strong case against the American government. But nonetheless, I do hope the United Nations Security Council will convene to meet, to discuss about what happened, because unless that happens, what is a very serious development will go unanswered.
OK, well, there is this well-documented difference of opinion and a dispute over who's responsible. I want to ask you how Europe is doing in the search for alternative supplies away from Russian gas.
The harsh reality for Europe is that is desperately dependent on Russian natural gas. The economic crusade which is being launched by the West against Russia is not so much a European crusade, it is actually an Anglo-American crusade. And certainly industrialists in European countries such as Germany, France and Italy do not wish to be part of this economic war against Russia, because they understand acutely the dire consequences, not just for European industries, but for European households, because of the shortage of Russian natural gas. And as regards to American liquefied natural gas, the Americans are attempting to compensate for the losses that Europe has sustained as a result of not being able to import Russian natural gas. But the truth is that America cannot fully compensate Europe for Europe no longer being able to receive Russian gas. That is why the looming economic catastrophe facing Europe on the horizon for Europe is going to be, as I said, catastrophic. Catastrophic for European industries and catastrophic for European domestic households. Industrialists, ordinary people across Europe will suffer. Their companies will fall, people will go into poverty, people will become homeless, and undoubtedly many European people, including in Britain, will either die or will become very ill because they will not be able to afford to turn on their central heating systems in this coming winter and in other winters to come.
Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Marcus Papadopoulos.
You're watching CGTN. Still ahead.